Welcome back. Let's continue our message mapping series. Today, we will learn about some standard functions, especially arithmetic functions. So, what is the purpose of message mapping? We use message mapping to transform the data from one structure to another structure and implement transformation logics if required, right? So, message mapping provides various standard functions which we can use to implement our transformation logics. The first one is the arithmetic functions. Let's look at the definition. Arithmetic functions are used to implement numerical calculations or operations in message mapping. Whenever you want to implement like additions, subtractions, multiplications, divisions, and all these numerical calculations, we use these arithmetical functions in message mapping, right? So let's go to a CPA tenant and see how to implement these functions practically. I have already created one message mapping for arithmetic functions. Let's turn on the trace and go to edit mode. I'll take timer and remove the start. Now, before we start the message mapping, let's first understand the requirements. This is the sample XML I'm going to use. First, understand the structure. We have employees as the root tag. Under the employees, we have multiple employee nodes, and each employee contains employee ID, name, base salary, bonus, all these details, right? Let's see the expected output as well. This is the expectation. So our root tag should be resource report, and then resource, we have multiple resources. Each resource has resource ID, name, total earnings, net salary, all these things. And what about the transformation logics? We have an Excel document for it. This is the document to implement the transformation logics. So for total earnings, we should be calculating base salary plus bonus. For net salary, we should be calculating total earnings minus deduction. So all these are arithmetic operations. I have documented them in an Excel file. So we are going to use this XML file as our transformation logic requirement document, or we can simply call it as data mapping document, right? So let's start with our build. So for message mapping, what are the prerequisites? We have discussed in our first video of this series, like we need XML structures for both source and target, right? So before we start the message mapping, we should create source XML structure and the target XML structure as well. Since I have the sample payloads with me, I can easily generate, right? So I can use a simple online tool where I can convert XML to an XST structure, and I can use the XST structure. Let's do that. I will copy this source document and search for XML to XST converter. You can open any website. Copy paste this sample XML. Check this box, generate schema. Now we have our XST structure. What we should be careful when we have an XST structure? We should be careful about the occurrences, right? So if you can observe, the employee node has max occurs equal to unbounded. What does this mean? The employee node can appear any number of times. So that is the expectation, right? In our source message, we have multiple employee nodes. So it returned max occurs equal to unbounded, and it didn't return, or it didn't write the min occurs. So if we didn't specify the min occurs and max occurs, what is the default value? 1, right? It would be min occurs 1 and max occurs 1 as well. So copy this document and save it in Notepad with .xst extension. I am going to save it as source underscore arithmetic functions .xst. And we are going to do the same thing for the target XML as well. We will copy this structure, paste it in this online converter and generate schema. Copy this and save it in a notepad. I am going to name it as target underscore arithmetic functions .xst. That is important. Now, we are going to use these documents in our message mapping. Let's get back to our CPI, and I will take a content modifier to set my initial payload. I am going to say it as initial XML payload. And in the message body, I will copy my source XML. Copy paste this. Now, let's take a message mapping now. I am going to name it as data mapping. Now, I don't have any message mapping defined in this iFlow, so I am going to create a new one. I will click on this create, and I am going to name it as underscore arithmetic functions. Click on create. Now, what we have to do? We have to upload the source and target structures. I will upload from file system, source, the target. So, we have source message and the target message as well. If you can expand this, we have all the fields. In the right side as well, we have all the fields in the red highlighted. Why they are highlighted in red? Since they are mandatory fields, you can observe the occurrences. All min occurrences for all these fields is 1, which indicates that it is a mandatory field. So, you cannot leave these fields as unmapped. You should map them since they are mandatory fields, right? So, let's see our structure first. This is the source and this is the target. It is clear that employees is the root tag for source and resource report is the root tag for the target. So, we should be mapping the employees to resource report, or you can map a constant as well, it does not matter. And we have to map employees to resources, right? And the employee ID and the name fields should be mapped to resource ID and name. For all the remaining fields, for all these remaining fields like total earnings, net salary, we have defined our document, right? We have all these transformation logics here. We will try to implement them one by one. So, let's get started. Map the root node to root node and the employee to resource. Now, the employee ID goes to resource ID without any logics, and the name would go to the name field as well. Now, what is the logic for total earnings? So, if I try to click this and open this box and drag this here, total earnings here. Now, what should we be doing? We should be mapping base salary plus bonus. So, I will take base salary. You can simply hold it and drag it here, or you can directly map it. So, if I want to map the bonus, you can simply drag and connect it here. It will show up in this box, in this mapping box. Now, we have base salary and bonus. What is the logic? We have to sum of them. We have to add these two numbers. So, I will go to the arithmetic function. We have add function here. So, I am to take this and we have to give number 1 and this is the number 2. Connect this to total earnings. That's it. It will calculate the sum of these two input numbers. Done. What is the next field now? It is the net salary, right? And observe the logic. Net salary is total earnings minus deduction. So, what is the total earnings? It is the sum of base salary plus bonus, right? So, we should be calculating the sum of base salary plus bonus and then subtract the deductions. So let's try to implement that. So we are going to need base salary, bonus, and then the deductions as well to calculate the net salary. Let's try to implement the logic. First, we need to sum or add base salary plus bonus. So connect this and connect this as well. Now we have to subtract the total calculated value with deductions. So I will take subtract, and the first number would be the total of base salary plus bonus, and we have to subtract the deductions from it. That's it. You can connect it here. Right. So these are pretty straightforward, the add, subtraction, multiplication, all these functions, but don't take it easy. You have to know what are the options you have. As a CPI developer, you should know each and every tool in the CPI tenant, right? For message mapping as well, you should be knowing what are the functions available in arithmetic, in booleans, in node functions. You need to understand the available options, and then if you couldn't achieve the logic using those standard functions or standard palette options you have, you can implement the additional logics or the custom logics using GUI scripting. You cannot say, I don't know if there is addition or multiplication available in message mapping, so I can implement a GUI script straightforward. No, you should not do that. First, your preference should be using standard functions available. That's why I am making this video to explain each and every function we have available in the message mapping, right? So that you are aware. So if they ask, if the requirement is to add 2 decimal points for every number, if you don't know the options available in message mapping, if you don't know the options or functions available in arithmetic function, you will think, oh, I don't have this option in CPI. I have to implement a custom script. I have to implement a GUI script. No, we have the option called format number, where you can format the incoming message, incoming number. So you should be aware of all these options. Okay.